July 26, 2015, and we want to know, how exactly does one do this podcasting thing again?
Has Chain Watch finally come to its dramatic 2-year conclusion?
All this and more is coming up now. It's weeks 5 through 6 here at DCR.
This day, we rescue a world from mysticism and tyranny, and usher in a future brighter than anything we can imagine.
Look! Up in the sky! It's a bird!
It's a plane!
It's
Distress Citizens Radio.
Hi, everybody. Hey. How's it going? Kind of a cautious, please don't stab me. Hi.
Oh, we've been here all along.
Yes.
Just
Apparently,
over there.
I didn't hit record for the last 4 weeks. That was the problem.
That's what happened, huh?
Technical issues. Issues. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode.
Still frame of cameraman holding a bottle with XXX on it.
Exactly. Another episode of DCR. I, of course, remain your host, Sean Lamont. I am alive, surprisingly so, and I am joined by also alive Brian Glein. Hello, sir.
I'm doing fine. You're the one who had to, claw out of your, your buried alive coffin.
Yes. Unfortunately, we have been away for a month. I know this. It was completely not planned. It was a matter of, let's just say, corporate-wise, we have twice as much work and half the staff all of a sudden, and it has become an every night, every weekend type of fare as we're rolling out some software. So, yay!
Caught up on my Netflix queue.
Well, congratulations to you.
BoJack Horseman's back. I'm so happy.
I unfortunately have not. So as such, we're going to have a bit of a weird schedule. This isn't going to change anytime in the near future, especially since we were already kind of writing off September due to Beth and I's wedding falling right in the middle of it there. So between the prep in the first half and the marital duties in the second half, there was not going to be much in the way of podcasting. So it was probably what we'll end up doing.
Plus, me and Kelly having our 10th anniversary on top of all the other stuff. So,
it's kind of a bad month all around, and this whole summer has kind of sucked. But I did want to at least let you guys know what we're going to try to do here with this show. Little out of band, little out of scope, little not what we do, kind of a really brief overview of weeks 5 and 6. And then we'll come back and do 7 and 8 sometime in the near future, and we'll probably do an end of month for August and September. And then hopefully come October, we'll be able to just jump right back into it or figure out what we're doing from there and get back into the swing of things.
Yes.
Know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Get back into the swing of things. But what do we do, Brian? What is the actual swing of things?
Oh, my God. What am I supposed to say right now? We recap things that happened in the DCU line.
Yes.
So there's going to be spoilers, so watch out, kids.
It was spoilers from a month ago.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think we're kind of not really
Hopefully they
too
still
bad.
have the good ones in stock at your shop if you want.
If not, there's digital. There's always digital. So as such, you guys are forewarned. There are spoilers ahead, but what we're going to do is just dive right in. As I said, this is going to be a little different from what you're used to. We're trying to cram something in here, in between my work schedule right now so we can get something out on the earwaves shelf thing. The podcaster, what do you call it? What's your podcasting thing?
Podblast.
Podblast. Yeah, there we are. Yeah, sorry. And that way we at least have something out there. So without any further ado, let us lunge forward into this week's books.
Uh-huh. All right, I am starting off with Action Comics number 42. Chain Watch comes to its close, and the shocking twist may surprise you, says BuzzFeed Joey.
Does it involve chains? Number 6 blew my mind.
Number 3 will change your life.
Whoa.
So first off, quick bonus shout out to Dan Hipp, who's doing a lot. It's a Teen Titans Go variant cover month.
Oh, I absolutely
They're so
adored
great.
half of those covers.
And the Teen Titans Go variant cover for this one is Superman and Doomsday having smoothies and talking about their feelings.
Yeah, like they should. They gotta work things out.
It's amazing. So we're dealing with powered down Superman wearing his jeans and his t-shirt. He's fighting a shadow monster while the crooked police go to burn down the Superman-friendly Kent Town neighborhood. Linda Lee, his new policewoman friend, or fire lady,
yes.
friend, tries to have them peacefully protest, but the cops get overzealous, and Superman busts out a giant chain to chain himself in between the police.
You'll never chop this tree down.
Yeah. Superman chained himself. I did not see that.
No, I did not. I mean, it's been a running thing here with Superman being chained to various things and items or just to himself. And, I guess he's just grown used to it. It's kind of like home for him now.
Yeah.
He was unchained in a miniseries. Now he's just got to rechain himself.
Like, the chains they're just so comfortable.
Yeah.
So the evil head cop, Binghamton, calls in the Metropolis SWAT team who've got like super armor and stuff.
With his giant aviator mirror shades.
Yes, he's mean because you can't see his eyes. And big fight breaks out between the innocent, and innocents get hurt. And Superman finally just like snaps because he's so tired of being, nice people being treated poorly because he's Superman. And he finally punches out Binghamton, and I'm sure there will be no consequences whatsoever.
Well, even Binghamton was kind of happy about it because he was trying to get him to break to actually throw a punch against the authority so that he could actually say, "You're a bad person. See, look, he punched a cop with my mirror shades." Yeah. Again, I kind of like where they're going with this one.
Yeah.
It's a heavier read, but at the same time, personal. For Superman. It's very personal for him in protecting this particular group of people that are standing by him after he was outed as Clark Kent. And there seems to be this 50-50 divide in the U.S. at the very least in the books on whether he should stay and be welcome for the nice things he's done, or as Trump would say, he's a rapist and a murderer and needs to get out of this country.
Yes. Well, Prez is not until next episode.
Oh,
my friend.
Sorry, my apologies.
But and I'm usually a grumpus about people saying, "Oh, Superman's too powerful. I don't know how to use all of his powers," and I'm like, "You're not being creative enough." Whereas I'm totally loving powered down Superman because it's still focusing on my favorite part of him, just being way too nice and not smart enough to know when to quit.
Yeah. I guess that was I just think it adds a little bit more pathos, however you pronounce it.
Yeah, I never heard anyone say it out loud for real.
Yeah, I always read it, and I'm just, I have so many words that I've only read, and I just want to sit down one day and just pump them into Google and be like, pronounce this for me.
Niche? What? I don't know.
Niche? Yeah, I don't know.
And also, one last thing, because I know we're trying to go fast. Dante, the guy in the white suit with a baseball bat, is already a sleeper candidate for the best new supporting character.
Sweet!
He's pretty great.
Yes, he is, very much so. Moving on, it's you again. We're doing alphabetical order here.
Works for me. Bat-Mite 2. Bat-Mite revamps Hawkman he's not the Savage Hawkman anymore.
No.
He's now Hawkman the Savage with a bunch of flame tattoos. He's got a mace for a hand.
And jagged bits all over the place.
So Dr. Trauma, the evil brain surgeon lady, she switches brains with Hawkman the Savage, and Bat-Mite has a Looney Tunes fight with her/him, and then switches everything back to normal. And even changes Hawkman back to normal, but he's going to give him a body wax because we don't take too kindly to hirsute superheroes.
I actually really enjoy the fact that the running gag was the manscaping, hawkscaping, whatever it is you do, you need to do it right now.
Space birdscaping. Afterwards, he meets up with Reagan and Weed, two 20-somethings who take him in since he has no home, and a supervillain named Gridlock is coming to fight him.
Yes, by getting him stuck in traffic, I'm assuming, or something like that. I don't know. Again, I kind of like the way that they're playing this one because of the childish nature, but at the same time, he's just so sad because he wants to be loved by everyone in the community, but they just hate him.
Yes.
So seeing it from his angle instead of him being the antagonist, like we usually see him show up being, where it's just, I'm here to annoy you, Batman. Ha ha ha. Seeing it from his angle is actually kind of a fun little view in this case.
And the guy named Weed. Oh my gosh. Another 20-something stoner slacker.
But from their perspective, it would look like a kid cosplaying as Batman.
I thought that was funny.
Yeah, they're just like, oh, what do we do with this 6-year-old kid dressed up as Batman?
Yeah.
I guess we could take him home. No, you call the police.
Yeah.
You call the police, Weed. I understand this is against every fiber of your nature, but you call the police, Weed.
Am I continuing on with Batman Beyond?
Yep.
All right, Batman Beyond number 2. We are powering through this.
I'm telling you, it's alphabets.
Yeah.
Alphabets.
I love me the alphabets. So, Batman Beyond number 2. So this book seems to be bridging the possible future of the New 52 turning into the Jack Kirby Great Disaster.
Yeah.
Yeah. So former Red Robin Tim Drake, who as we all know is currently living under the guise of as the new Batman Beyond, is at a place called The Lodge, where people.
Well, that sounds nice. Does he have some cocoa?
You would think where people are being brainwashed and turned into Brother Eye spider robots.
Okay, not quite the ski resort I was thinking.
No. There's not some guy comically propping up his oversized cast leg on the couch next to the fire while a bunch
drinking
of
some hot toddies and.
So he's there with former Commissioner Barbara Gordon, the Batman Beyond villain and stand-in Lady Venom named Ink. Has teamed up with Brother Eye.
Hey, she was from the cartoon.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah, I remember her from the old cartoon.
In case you're getting mad that there's not enough Batman Beyond in your Batman Beyond.
There you go.
Here's Ink.
She was actually one of the early enemies in that one, too, like episode 3 or 4-ish.
Maybe even 2, I think. I don't know.
I don't remember.
Oh, yeah, 2 parts for Mac. My son
time.
starts watching it like every 2 months, and I see the same 3 episodes over and over again. Like, I don't remember what happened. I'm like, you remember what happened.
You have that awesome opener, and the rest of it just blows your mind.
So Ink teams up with Brother Eye, captures Tim Drake, and Brother Eye prepares to process Batman after a shocking betrayal by some girl.
Not some girl!
Yeah, she showed up in this issue, and you thought she was your friend, but she turned on you.
Wasn't she the one working with Barbara?
Yeah, she was Barbara's friend.
Then she got captured.
Then she got Jack Kirby brainwashed. Yeah. So with the creepy
dots,
just
dots everywhere.
Just dots everywhere. She gets the creepy rictus smile. Oh no, something's not right here.
Well, you look healthy.
Mm-hmm.
So first up for me. Bizarro, I love you. Where we were dealing with his adventures as Jimmy Olsen is trying to take him to Bizarro America, aka Canada, to get him out of Superman's hair in Metropolis. And the first hurdle they had hit when they were passing through Smallville, they met King Tut and his used car dealership, and he had somehow gotten all-consuming power from a bunch of bored aliens that flew by and gave him a power staff, and he was using his magics to make people buy used cars at really bad APR prices. And Bizarro decides he's going to help and defeats King Tut and his salesmanship magics. And they are rewarded to get this thing back into the pre-New 52, kind of bringing it up to speed here. They reward Bizarro with a Bizarro #1 medallion, and Jimmy with a Miem #2 medallion.
He was cute.
It was very cute. And then Jimmy kind of straps on a little baby bindle thing and throws the Chupacabra into it, and the two of them continue their adventures across the United States as they make their way to Bizarro Canada, America, whatever. So it's a fun it's such an all ages story. Yeah. It really
Didn't
is.
They stop in Central City and Francis Manipal Flash suddenly showed up and like tripped over them or something?
Yes. Yeah, there's like a little vignette scene at the end where it's them hitting a bunch of cities as they're going up the
and like the people who are drawing the books right now did like a little guest splash mixed in with the other artwork. It was fun.
Yes, it was very, very cute, and it worked very, very well. So next up for me, Detective Comics #42. Slightly different tone. A little bit of a tonal whiplash here because it's Jim Bats facing off against the likes of La Morte, who are like 3 guys that look like Day of the Dead celebrators that are apparently like, what are the, damn it, I just lost the word.
Dia de los Muertos?
Yes. No, I was thinking of the small luchadore style wrestlers.
Luchadors? Lucha Libre?
No, they have a specific name for them. The little guys that jump around and do hup and flip around all over the place, and I don't know. Maybe it is luchador.
Luchadors, yeah.
Dude, cut me some slack. But they're all hupping around while Jim Bats is trying to take them down. But there's bigger problems going on because Montoya has returned back to Gotham City, and it looks like she's actually working for internal affairs, kind of an undercover, try to dig out some of the dirt that's going on there. Bullock, meanwhile, is starting to detect. He is a detective. That's what I was saying is. He's starting to suspect that his girlfriend Yi is actually dirty, and he even gives a phone number that keeps calling her. over to Montoya and says, trace this number, find out who it is. I just have a bad feeling about it. He doesn't tell where he got it or anything like that, but he just wants to know for sure. And worst of all in the GCPD, Keys and Alvarez have been forced to work the circus when Murder Squad is up to its gills in backlog.
I know, right?
There's a whole page of Keys and Alvarez complaining like, but boss, we already have so much to do. We're Murder Squad.
Do they actually say Murder Squad?
No, they call it major crimes. Yeah, they're
it.
major crimes.
I'll allow it. I don't care. I'm just glad the Keys and Alvarez have continued
They're
on.
popping up all over the place now, and I actually really like that these two are getting some play because they actually are pretty cool characters. I know we give them a bunch of flack. They had a really rough start out of the gate.
Yeah.
But they've kind of grown on me quite a bit. But this book in general is kind of a nice grounding book. It's a nice companion to the main Batman book because it's basically Gordon and Bullock trying to wrestle with what it means to be Batman while doing the best they can, doing the job the best they know how as cops. So it's these two like, man, this is crazy. Are you seeing what we're dealing with out here? This is madness. So, as I said, it's a nice little grounding book. I know the Batman book is doing a great job with it as well, the main title. But this one works a little bit better for me as far as the Jim dealing with the rest of the GCPD who are friends with him. He's no longer an actual commissioner anymore. So he's an equal pretty much with all these guys. And he's treated them as equals for years now, most of these guys. So it's a nice little GCPD buddy book kind of where they're dealing with something bigger than who they are and they're having issues with it. So to me, it's a great read. I know,
like you said, it's almost like Gotham Central, except there's a robot bunny Batman involved.
Well, yeah, going weep whoop across the street. Yep. So and luchadors jumping around all over the place. If that's what you call them. If that's what you call.
Nacho.
Next up, Green Arrow.
Oh, Green Arrow. Okay. So Green Arrow 42. So last month we were speculating, is this book about race problems? And yes, this story is very much about race.
Holy shit.
Very much. It starts off with the former mayor of Pennytown, gets doused in bleach and, dropped from the sky. That doesn't work.
No.
That's not how that works.
No, that does not solve any problems unless, no, actually, I can't think of a single reason where that would fit.
If he wears a lot of white t-shirts and he drinks a lot of grape juice and is very prone to spilling things, maybe? Maybe. So to deal with public unruliness, the Seattle police have hired that one outside firm that we were discussing before, with their head Aaron Zim, to create the Panopticon, a horrifying floating omnidroid with tentacles that can tell if you might commit a crime or not.
Wait, he's an Aaron Zim?
Aaron Zim.
Okay.
The guy's name is Aaron Zim.
Gotcha.
Not Invader Zim.
Okay.
Aaron
Just making
Zim.
sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's a useful thing.
Yeah, that's the calm rational. Oh yeah, we've built this horrifying looking robot with razor sharp, spiky tentacles.
We designed it from the Matrix. We used that as our guiding thing here. We figured what would make kids feel more safe than giant scary spider squid robots.
It can sense if you're making awkward body movements and if you're gonna do something shifty. It's like maybe because it's a gigantic spiky. Also, rest of the Seattle police, can you start wearing these uniforms with spikes on your helmets and skulls all over them? just in case we're not being perfectly clear here.
We have a glitch in the programming, and the little spider squid robots only recognize allies as people wearing skulls and jack boots. Jack boots are really important.
Yeah, there's just this one guy in the background. Hey, wait a minute, does this make us the bad guys? The Panopticons, they're racist, they're classist, it makes julienne fries, it does it all.
Wow.
Yeah. So Ali realizes he accidentally signed these things into existence because he was sleepy during a board meeting once and was busy playing doctor.
See, that's the Oliver Queen that we know and love.
Yep, and he's also been busy playing doctor to his new pet wolf. So he gets captured by Zim in a giant Panopticon, like Dr. Wily style, flying this thing around. And that leaves only Emiko.
Sanic, save us!
All I know is this leaves only Emiko and a gigantic wolf to save him.
Oh. Is she going to ride the wolf into battle? Is she just shooting arrows all over the place?
I hope so.
On her trusted steed, Wolfie, or whatever she's going to call him.
Yeah.
No, I'm very, very happy
Yes.
that Emiko is back in the mix. I think she's one of the better ads that came out of the new 52.
Yeah. They want to just slowly transition over. I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, and maybe let Ollie take a break for a little bit. Let Emiko be Green Arrow for a little bit, and then Damian can come over and
I know Kate's trying. I know Kate's trying to do something, over in the other universe, but
Kate
Bishop.
Oh,
Hawkeye,
gotcha. Yes.
Hawkeye.
She gotcha.
She's slowly transitioning over. It's like, you got to beat them, Emiko. Come on.
Yeah, you could do it. You could beat him to the punch.
Yeah.
Or
There's only like 8 more. There's only 8 more months of Secret Wars. Come on, jump on this.
I guess you could take a nap first. maybe deal with these robot things first, and guess have a sandwich. Maybe do some training. Figure out a better name than Green Arrow, even. I mean, you're Emiko. You could do something cool. Be like Beige Arrow or
Off-white, but not quite Beige Arrow.
Next up, Green Lantern. A little bit of a surprise here on this one. Remember, we were dealing with Renegade Hal Jordan flying around, being evil, but in a good way.
Anything Guy Gardner can do, I can do better.
That's right. I'm more badass than you. Look at my longer hair.
Yeah.
And Renegade Hal is trying to get his quote-unquote hostage Virgo back home, the guy that he broke free and took hostage himself just to get him back home. And when they get back to his home planet, they found it was turned to stone. Everyone and everything on it is just a big gray rock now. Everyone was turned to stone by those little pebbles that we keep seeing hit things and turn things into stone. It keeps happening all the time in little places over the last couple issues, like a planet, this little, I don't know, hand-sized rock will fall from space and hit the planet, and all of a sudden everything and everyone on the planet turns to stone. The entire planet itself, or like ships and everything like that, and it's like, what the heck's happening here? But as they're trying to figure out what happened there, Trapper's gang, the guy that was holding Virgo captive prior, they show up to break him out from Hal Jordan's prison in his little spaceship that he's flying around in. But Hal dismantles their fleet just as another little wave of those rocks come in and hit the bad guys' ships and turn them all to stone as well. And Hal's like, no! And even Trapper's kind of like, what the hell's happening out there to my crew? And they go, okay, guys, Virgo, Trapper, me, we're going to have to sit down and figure out what's going on here, because obviously something keeps turning all these planets to stone. And as we pan out, we the reader, we get to see probably a good indication of the source of what that is, as we see Black Hand with his stony hands, after touching the source wall during God Hand, punching down at the planets that are turned to stone, going, why won't you listen to me? You're all dead. You should be listening to me. And he's all ticked off about being betrayed at the end of Godhead. And as we see him punching, little chips of stone are kind of like flying off, and I'm assuming it's just like the source wall. It's even if it's not connected to the source wall, it's turning all these things to stone. And considering the next issue is called Back Against the Wall, I'm assuming that we're probably going to head back towards the source wall on this one. Yay, Black Hand's back, but he's not goofy circus Black Hand. He's kind of angry, Black Hand. So we'll see what we get. Again, the more animated series style of this one, where it's Hal out away from the Green Lantern Corps, I would like him to have maybe one other member with him, just so we have that whole dynamic of who he used to be and maybe who he's being now can be played against himself. But you can separate him at the beginning to kind of really set that who he is now type thing and what he's trying to do. But I'm hoping down the line maybe they bring in at least one person as another member of his crew that maybe knew him as a Green Lantern, and take it from there.
Razor, haven't seen you in such a long time in all those adventures we had off panel.
Yes. Oh man, they were so great. Oh, they were the best. You want to join my crew? Oh, you brought an AI unit called Aya with you? Sure, I'll plug it in. Yeah, we're not pushing for that at all.
I don't want that story to be continued one bit.
Next one's quick and easy for me. Lobo. Lobo continues to track down who's betraying the group of assassins that he's working for now, called the Void Whisper. And the only thing that he has is that whoever it is that's turning against them keeps putting these spider robots in the heads of people to control them. And then when they get caught, they pop out the eyeball of the person they're in and just crawl out and scamper away. And it's like, yee! Yee!
Optical distress.
So he tracks the spider bots back to a person by the name of Fabria Odessa, who goes by the name Fag. grab.
Yeah.
Who traps him with a spider bot in his
If only
own
it was
head.
Fabrice, it'd be even better.
But unfortunately, Lobo gets one of those spider bots in his head, and she goes, "Oh, what jobs am I going to send you on? Because it's nice to have a awesome, super sexy assassin on my team." And that's where we leave off with him kind of SOL and probably getting sent off to do the dirty work of the group that he was sent to stop. Not a good time for Lobo.
No.
Not a good time at all. I guess it's me for the rest of this
Yeah.
half. Omega Men. Oh, hoisted on its own petard.
Yes.
Hoisted on its own petard, because I'll talk about that after this little thing. The Chancellor of the Citadel. We've been dealing with the Omega Men as basically the freedom fighters / terrorists of the galaxy, because this group known as the Citadel has come in and been conquering large swaths of space as a liberating force. And they don't like it whatsoever, so they've been fighting against them. And in the first issue, they killed a bunch of Citadel troops, and now the Chancellor of that region comes down to talk to the leader of that planet and say, "Hey, a bunch of my guys got killed. I demand restitution. I flew down in here in my aptly shaped Omega ship that looks just like a giant Omega symbol, but the Omega Men would have no interest in that whatsoever.
Nope.
So let's go have conversations about how you're going to kill 10 times as many people as my people were killed. Oh, you want to kill people that are against you because you're a corrupt, dirty politician? Sure, we'll have conversations about who exactly you want to have killed as restitution." It's like, gee. But the Omega Men, surprise of all surprises, go, "Hey, that ship looks just like our symbol. We should take that." They jump in it and fly away. And the entire time, they're trying to basically convince Kyle Rayner, who's recovering from his slit throat. Hey,
Yeah.
just as you do, you just go, "Ouch," slap a Band-Aid on it and rub some dirt in it. Walk it off there, Kyle Rayner. Quit being a pants. Do it. But it ends, and this is the kind of the hoisted on its own petard thing. This book is doing exactly what it wants to do. I mean, they are telling the story exactly the way they want to tell it. You can tell this. It's the tone, the style, everything, the undertones of story that they're trying to tell are very blatantly clear. It's depressing as shit. And that's why I say it might be hoisted on its own petard. That's the story. That's great. It's awesome. You have to be in a mindset to read this book right now, and it cannot be a happy, "Hey, I'm going to kick back and enjoy a nice little light read." This is not a nice little light read. This is
if I'm just jumping through the books to try to get them done, which I have had plenty of time this month, but yeah, you really got to be in the right mood for this one.
Yeah, and it's good. It's really, really good. Please do not take that as a quality thing. This is, as I said, entirely intentional, and it's a serious book. It ends with Kyle Rayner dressed in an Omega Men jumpsuit, using the blood from his neck as he's changing his bandages and turning it into a Green Lantern symbol, because it's obviously just the Omega is just the upside down bottom part, and he's just like, he's like, "I guess I'm a Green Lantern at heart." It's like, no, Kyle, you used to be the happy one.
Yeah.
Quit drawing blood symbols on your shirt.
Draw some mechs or something, dude. Come on.
Again, I think it's a solid book, but you have to, this is probably one of the most targeted books that DC is doing right now, as far as it knows what it wants to do, it knows the story it wants to tell, and it knows the tone in which it wants to tell it, and not everyone is going to jump on board with that. So if you're up for being challenged, and I don't mean like a difficult, I don't know what's happening, just a tonal challenge, it's a solid read.
Yeah.
So, last one for me, I think, or do I got two more? Last one. Oh, well, Total Whiplash, Midnighter, hello! Yeah! Midnighter is...
Wait, M comes before O? It comes after O now?
It comes after O? No, I think I accidentally swapped them.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I'm a goofball like that, so...
Alphabets,
they're hard. I can't do them very well, so I just put people where I want them. This issue of number 2 of Midnighter deals with Midnighter having to chase down someone, a young lady who was betrayed by a corporation who allowed a product to be released that ended up killing someone she loved, and she wants revenge, and someone gives her a tool from the God Garden that Midnighter used to guard that allows her to use the 6 deadly words. These Chinese symbols, but it's some sort of like neck harness that she wears, and when she says those words, then it kills the people, like rupturing their bowels or exploding their brains and all these types of things. It's not pretty whatsoever.
Good old-fashioned Midnighter ultraviolet.
Yeah, pretty much. So Midnighter decides, I should probably take care of that. He gets a call from his sexual conquest hotline. And they go, hey, someone's blowing up people over at this corporation headquarters. And he goes, well, I guess I better take care of that. And he heads on over and goes to confront her, and she uses all 6 power words against him at the same time. And he kind of falls to the ground in a bloody heap. And as she goes to continue her vengeance, he comes back to consciousness and he goes, oh, that hurt. That hurt so bad. I wish I was doing this to someone else, but I guess I'll do it to myself. And he ruptures his own eardrums so that he can no longer hear the words, like boxes his own ears until they explode.
Yep.
And he's just like, I don't like this whatsoever. And he kind of swings in.
That's so Midnighter.
It really is. And as he's swinging in, she goes to use the words against him again. He's just kind of like, can't hear you, lady. Can't hear you. Eardrums ruptured. See the blood spurting out from the sides of my head. They're not going to help you in this case. And she goes, well, I was just trying to get revenge. I guess he can actually hear her. He can read lips, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I think he does say they can read lips, yeah.
And she goes, I was just trying to get revenge because they had betrayed and their negligence killed the people I loved. And he goes, okay, well, I kind of like your style, but I do have to take you to jail. But you can rough them up a little first. And they just kind of beat up the CEOs and board members. Then he goes, okay, off to jail with you. Hup-de-doo. And sends her off to jail, but not before he attaches her to his sexual conquest network. No sexual conquest in this case, just slaps the little nanotech.
You had to see me
her.
being a blood version of Mr. Silly Sprinkler Head. You're fine. That's good enough.
But this whole thing is interspersed with him going out on a date with someone else. In this case, someone from the first issue that was in the restaurant when he was beating up all the nihilists and was just like, holy cow, this guy is awesome. He's like, yeah, I know, I'm kind of awesome. You want to go on the tour? Let's go to Moscow. I heard they love gay people in Moscow. And they go to Moscow and have some beers. And of course, everyone there is just like, oh, and they try to pick a fight with him, and he just mops the floor with everyone there. And this guy is just like, I don't know what I've gotten myself into, but it's awesome. It's so great. But there's a nice little quiet scene where we get some of the backstory of his relationship with Apollo and why it didn't work, where he's explaining it to his date. And there's this one little like 2-page scene of him and Apollo fighting where he comes out and says his name actually isn't Lucas Trent. He just was saying that to fit in because he has no memory of who he is whatsoever. And Apollo just can't believe that he just doesn't know who he is. And why wouldn't he tell him that? And blah, 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 blah. And they start arguing. And poor Midnighter just kind of goes and hangs his head, walks over, gives Apollo a big old smooch, and then grabs his bag as he heads for the door. And Apollo's like, whoa, wait, what's going on here? He's like, don't you remember? I can, see how every fight ends, and I know exactly how this one ends. And he just kind of walks out the door, and I was like, you're killing me, Midnighter. You're killing me.
When you're not actually killing me, you're killing me.
But it ends with him calling up the lady that had the 6 deadly words, who's still in prison. He's like, hey, do you ever think of like doing sidekick work once you get out? Because it could be awesome. I like the cut of your jib, lady, with all those power words and exploding organs and stuff. I think we could be a good team. And just as he's doing that, all of a sudden he just starts laughing and laughing and laughing. She's like, what are you laughing about? He's like, well, I don't know anything about my past, but I sure as hell know today's my birthday. And as we cut over to the last page, it's him facing off against 500 copies of Multiplex. And he's just like, this is the best day of my life.
Oh, Multiplex.
But so many great one-liners in these issues. The Midnighter has just been blowing me away with the one-liners.
Yeah.
Even the campy 90s style action stuff, obviously the one-liners just flowed naturally there. But even that quiet scene where it was him arguing with Apollo, it's just, you get the point across with one dialogue box and all the feels come in right with it. And you're just like, oh man, how do you punch it in with one box like that? One little dialogue box, and you just bring down the house with exactly the feeling that you wanted to get across in that entire scene. Obviously the rest of the scene builds it up to that point.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's just like, all you needed was that one thing, but still, it's so good at that. The payoff is really what it is. The payoffs are so good for each scene. Really love the book. Really, really love the book. You should give it a
Midnighter's
shot.
just becoming one of the best characters in the DCU right now.
Yes. And we loved him back in Stormwatch, but it
was a different kind of thing.
Yeah, this is a whole nother level at this point. But that's it. We're going to take a quick break. Brian, what do you have coming up for round 2 or week
Everything that was in
6?
week 6?
Yeah, week 6. I guess that's what we'll do here. So hold on a couple seconds. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we will go through those books.
You are amazing. You fight everything nasty. Swamp Thing.
And you're back.
That we are after a little Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
A little bit of Swamp Thing. There was a reason for that. We actually got an email from Karen Johnson, and it's her boyfriend Ryan's birthday, and I guess Swampy's his favorite, so there, we have met our obligation.
Yeah.
No, congratulations to you both, so happy birthday. Yay! Moving on, though. Section 8.
All-Star Section 8.
All-Star
That's why it's in the
Section
front.
8, Number 2.
Number 2. So, Six-Pack, the tragic and depressing drunk leader of the homeless super team Section 8, is trying desperately to find an 8th member of the team so their name will work. And this issue, they decide to try to recruit the Green Lantern. So after he accidentally shows up to fight a Tyrannosaurus with a lightsaber in the background while an innocuous scene takes place in front of it.
Well, he's trying to return the Green
Lantern
Lantern costumes that he rented to when they tried to lure him out.
Yeah. So Six-Pack tries to enlist him, but Al Jordan's just like, no. I know what happened to Raynor when he met you guys. I'm no rookie. I'm out of here. This guest appearance is over. Al Jordan's out. Peace.
The one thing that I noticed was during that little innocuous scene of him trying to return it while the Tyrannosaurus with the lightsaber was running around, the bird sign in the background kept changing. Yeah. What the hell was up with that?
Reality alters around the Green Lantern ring, I guess.
Fair enough. I kept reading. I was like, what are they trying to tell me? Because it was just like depressed birds, angry birds, happy birds, sheltered birds.
Yeah, and in the background, we also learned some other things, like the pile of intestines known as guts is a lady, and Bueno Excelente has a crush on her, but he's not the only one. We also learned that a certain mask and torch are haunted, and people are cursed to carry the mantle of Dog Welder from now until the end of time. Apparently.
Yes, apparently it's actually the welding suit that is Dog Welder, and whoever dons it becomes Dog Welder.
Yes. Which I thought was a nice explanation for that. And if Dog Welder's kind of magic, we also learned that Bueno Excelente might also be magic because he was able to move the table he was sitting at
without using his hands.
Without using his hands. I don't know how he was doing that. Magic.
It's like, but he can only lift it up.
Yeah.
You can't really move it around to just lift it up and at an angle at that. But still, I mean, hey.
Still pretty, more than I can do.
More than I can do. So, I mean, I'll give him credit where it's due. Credit where it's due. I love the fact that they made Guts dress up like Star Sapphire.
Yes.
Where it was a pile of intestines with a Star Sapphire costume on. And it's like, yeah. That's when Bueno's all like, hey. It's quite the nice pancreas you got there.
Yeah. I was like that the Grappler gets to be in the DCU logo in the house ads.
Yes. Grappler! Again, amusing. Very, very amusing. But,
so wrong.
So off kilter in its humor. Next
Batman,
up,
Superman?
Batman. Just
Batman, all right.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't do that. Huh. I should have done that, shouldn't I? You remember what happened?
Do I remember what happened?
I guess Gotham Academy is in there, too. Forgot to do Batman. I can't believe I'm a moron.
Well, it's just Jim and Bruce Wayne sharing some coffee and donuts on the cover with this Robin mug. The Teen Titans Go cover it.
Yeah.
This is the one where Jim Gordon actually confronts Julia because he figures out that she knew Batman beforehand.
Okay.
And they get the new Bat truck. Do you remember this now?
Oh,
This
yeah,
coming
the
the giant semi-monster truck, bat
Yes,
truck.
I do. Okay. It's slowly coming back to me, yeah.
And they take it out for its first spin, and he ends up crashing it into the giant blob monster, the gang leader that's able to control all of the detritus of the city, or detritus. Actually, that was another of those words that I found out.
Detritus?
Detritus.
Okay.
Detritus.
Okay.
I heard it on NPR and I was like, shit, I've been mispronouncing it. But yeah, he's able to control that. So then Jim uses the bat truck to crash into him and destroys it. And he's like, hey, do we got any more bat vehicles around? Could use some more of those. That would be pretty cool. But he finds out someone by the name of, who is it? Mr. Seed, I think it was, or
something like that. Yeah.
Is putting these seeds in people that gives them powers, and eventually it overwhelms them, but it's slowly getting better and better control over it. So it looks like whoever buys it is eventually going to be a super villain.
Like Justice League level threat, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, they're like huge threats. But the big turn in this one was Bruce Wayne working at the shelter alongside of
like shacking up
Duke
with
Thomas.
shacking up with like an art teacher or something.
Yep.
Want to go over to that?
You know who that art teacher is, though, right?
Want to go over to the Potter's Wheel? I saw it in the movie.
It's Julie Madison.
Julie Madison?
Yeah.
That sounds like I should be familiar with that. But
I don't know.
Okay.
It's Julie Madison, man. It's
Julie
Madison.
Okay.
But then Commissioner Gordon ends up showing up and talking to him. He's like, hey, I'm Batman and we need to talk. And Bruce Wayne seems very kind of like, huh? Why would you want to talk to lowly me? I have my scruffy beard.
Yeah.
Stupid Clark Kent, I'll show you. So again, this has a lot of those quieter moments like we saw in Detective Comics as far as the Commissioner Gordon talking to Julia and trying to figure out what it means. And Julia's like, don't try to be the symbol. Just be who you are. Don't go out there trying to think you're bigger than all this. You're still just a human being, and that's what makes you such a relatable symbol, because you are a human putting yourself on the line. So just be you, Jim Gordon. Be you.
You do you.
Now you can do Batman.
The quality recapping you come to expect from us.
Yes. As I kind of stapled that one together real quick from my memory.
Batman Superman number 22. Powerless Superman and Jim Gordon Batman just don't get along. But Superman's willing to try. Plus, both of them aren't sure if they can live up to their names in their current predicaments, so maybe they have more in common than they think. Put my index finger to my mouth. They try to track down the xenophobic bad guys to a miniature sun that Star Labs accidentally made in Gotham. Star Labs all about coulda, not about shoulda. And instead,
is that their little tagline underneath it?
Yep, I want the Flash Star Lab shirt, but I want that to be said underneath, written underneath it. So instead of the baddies, it turns out that Uruk the Beast Lord from Imperial Subterranea. My favorite pack story. He was there. Superman stole their power source without thinking, so Uruk is going to steal this sun and blow up the surface world. Superman tries to talk it out, but Batman breaks it up recklessly and starts a war between two worlds, and Superman rolls his eyes as hard as he possibly can at the rookie mistake. Let's go clean up after Batman.
Again.
Where's Baka?
Where is Baka?
Where
we
is
need him
Baka?
back here.
Also, one of my favorite scenes so far, Robot Bunny Batman can't type with his gigantic robot gloves.
Oh, I did like that when they're in the ship. And he's like, just move over. He's like, no, I can do this.
Listen, typing's kind of my thing, you know? The whole Clark Kent, just let me do it.
It's one of my superpowers.
Move.
85 words per minute. Why does clackety? Yeah. I actually didn't get a chance to read this one except for bits and pieces while you were just talking about it. So,
no, okay.
Next up, Catwoman. So good. So good. This book has completely won me over. It's the drama, the gang drama type stuff going on where it's Selena Kyle as the head of one side of the gangs. She has a bunch of them reporting to her, and then Black Mask with a bunch of them reporting to him. And then Penguin in the middle playing as a double agent between the two sides. And in this case, it's actually Selena Kyle rescuing Penguin from an assassination attempt against him. and he gifts her with the tunnels underneath the city because, there's tunnels underneath Gotham City.
Really?
Yeah, I guess there's some stuff under Gotham. I would have never guessed.
Strange.
Yeah, but she's able to use those to actually do some of her cat burglary ring. And so those will come in handy. Meanwhile, as we see on the cover, spoiler alert, because Spoiler's back in town as well. And she's trying to figure out what's going on with all of the murders that are happening around, and she is looking
The best thing that happened to Spoiler in the interim is Spoiler Alert becoming a thing.
Yes. And she's actually looking for an internship, I guess, with Catwoman. Because she's kind of ticked off that Catwoman took her hostage during Batman Eternal and then, kind of didn't help her really against her dad whatsoever, Clue Master, and it's this whole thing, and then they end up saying, well, let's spar, and then maybe you can teach me something.
The Calabrese crime family gives college credit, right?
Yeah, they do. But Selina just knocks her out cold, like one punch, just drops her very easily. Apparently those library Krav Maga classes didn't work out too well, at least when you're going up against the big dogs. Keys and Alvarez, they're on the scene.
Yeah.
They're trying to track down
they are.
The link between that private detective that they've been put on that cold case, and it looks like he may have solved, whoever this private detective was that was killed, may have solved the identities of the entire Bat family, and now they're kind of like, oh, maybe this story's a little bigger than we thought, while they're also working with Catwoman.
I mean, after Dick Grayson's identity was revealed, it was super easy to figure out everything else. Give that man a Pulitzer for his investigatory journalism.
But it ends up being a whole big thing where they're trying to help out. Catwoman's trying to help them out, the dirty cops in the GCPD as well. So there's that whole subplot going on as well. And Spoiler comes to on the roof of the building just in time to see another Catwoman. I'm assuming it's supposed to be Hasegawa, the secondary Catwoman that's been running around from the other crime family that's been kind of in a quasi relationship with Selina. Shows up and goes, well, hey, maybe that Catwoman won't train you, but maybe you just need the right Catwoman to train you. And she goes to help her up. And poor Spoiler is just like, I have no idea what's happening here. I just walked into the middle of a huge drama storyline going on, and I feel like I am at least 6-7 issues behind. Again, it's such a good read. A lot of double entendres because you don't know who's actually working for who and who's trying to play who, and they're doing a really great job of keeping that vibe while telling a story as well with the characters. And I cannot say enough that you may have written off Catwoman in the past for other reasons. If you haven't given it a shot under Genevieve Valentine, I think is writing this one.
I think that's the name, yes.
Yep. Give it a shot under her pen and see if it might persuade you a little differently, because the art style from Messina, is that how you pronounce that? David Messina, I believe.
Possibly.
Yeah. Well, he's doing a great job, and it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. So next up is
Constantine the Hellblazer.
Constantine is Ghosty Pals.
If I know my alphabets.
Yep.
All right. So Constantine's ghosts are getting ghost murdered. So the whole issue is him going around finding various magical trinkets and arcane artifacts to take to a particularly magic place to lure in the being that was killing the ghosts.
Okay.
So he finds a particularly haunted Whole Foods location to set up his trap.
Ooh.
Yes.
These prices are scary.
He sets up his trap, accidentally locks his best friend Gaz's ghost into a sigil. The horrifying nether demon shows up, kills his best friend's ghost, and oozes off into the netherworld again. So he's going to go back to London to try to figure out how to save the rest of his ghosts.
By hooking up with his old ghost hunting pals, apparently. That was what they were saying, because Gaz kept telling me he has to go talk to one of their friends that they knew, one of their mutual acquaintances that's all about the ghosts. Mm-hmm. That's his thing. He's all about the ghosts. And he's like, I don't want to go talk to him. I kind of screwed him over the last time we met. But, I do that a lot. So I may not have. I just assume everyone I've ever met, I've screwed them over at some point.
It's safe to assume at this point.
So now he's going to hook up with the old crew, I guess, and start bringing in some supporting cast members. He did run across that restaurant owner again in the subway.
Yeah, so that's going to be important somewhere down the line.
And he doesn't know if that's a a spooky happenstance or if it's just New York and
Yeah.
it happens on occasion.
Yeah.
But knowing this title, probably not a coincidence.
Probably not, yeah.
Probably not a coincidence.
And seemingly sly in the recap, but there was just an excellent bit of world building and like rule setting for this type of magic, and a lot of nifty little like there's like little like 1 or 2 page ghost stories in the meantime. There's these like
because he's
out of
going
things.
from site to site in New York to gather up more spooky ghost energy.
Yeah.
And he's telling the little vignette stories of why that place is haunted and why this object is haunted.
And it's almost certain that creepy Mr. Rumor and the landlord with no identity will probably show up again.
yeah,
So
yeah. I got
pay
a very
attention to those things.
Phantasm feel from Mr. Rumor.
I don't know anything about Phantasm, but I'll
Okay,
take
the
your word
tall
for
man with the little globy things that shoot up. Okay, whatever.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
And also Riley Rossmo, holy crap, quickly becoming a favorite.
Yeah, well, for obvious reasons. I think horror is kind of his wheelhouse, and he's owning it.
Yeah.
Owning it very much in this one. So, next up, Earth 2, the Society. We get some backstory. Why does everyone hate Mr. Horrific?
Huh.
He's such a nice guy.
Yeah.
Terry Sloan.
Branding, my friend. Branding.
Yes. Terry Sloan, the other Mr. Terrific, not Michael Holt in this case. We saw in the last issue he was being hunted by the entirety of Earth 2, and in this one we get the fallback as to why, because as we know, coming out of Convergence, all of the ARC ships were flying with the population of Earth 2, and the planet Telos had been terraformed into a habitable planet for these people to live on. I don't know what we're going to call this planet because we can't call it Telos or the guy Telos anymore. I don't even know what happened to Telos, but
He's getting his own series, apparently.
how? His name isn't Telos. What are they going to call it?
I don't know.
So they end up going there, but someone sabotages the ships, and in an effort to save them all, Terry Sloan makes them all crash land onto the new Earth 2, in an effort to keep them from exploding out in space. But he doesn't have the communication system to tell people what's going on, and as well, he wants to get that box that we saw in World's End, the box that can terraform the entire Earth. Remember that little device that Batman put together before he died that has all of the DNA of all the animals and plants and species of Earth 2?
Nope.
He put together a little codex thing. Okay, well, someone can use that to re-terraform this planet to be an exact clone of Earth 2 with all of the plants and animals and life that was there prior. And Terry Sloan thinks that it would probably be used for bad, like someone could just reprogram it and make it whatever they want it to be at that point. So he comes down and steals it, and that's why everyone's like, oh, Terry Sloan's crashed all our ships and stole our terraformer. He's a jerk face. Yeah, we're going to show that guy. And yeah, that's kind of where we end it with this one, with him coming back to Earth as we saw at in the first issue, and his whole thing is he has that terraformer device and he plugs it in Neo Gotham and is going to enact it, and poor Nightwing / Dick Grayson Batman, whatever he's calling himself now, is forced to go, oh boy, I'm the only one here. Should I stop him? Should I not stop him? What should I do here? Moral dilemma for new Batman. And yeah, I guess next month we'll find out what he decides to do.
I'm going to throw a batarang at it.
I'm sure he will. Just hits Terry Sloan in the side of the head. Oh. That didn't stop him. What do I do?
Blink.
Next up.
Gotham Academy?
You bet.
All right, number 8. We're having
I keep forgetting you don't have the list in front of you.
I'm guessing alphabets. So we are having a funeral for Olive's mother. It seems she didn't do too well after the breakout. And Olive's old boyfriend Kyle is trying to make up with her and make out with her.
A little bit.
Because they're teenagers and,
yeah.
you know. But she's too busy hanging out with hunky teen man bat Tristan.
Ooh.
Teen bat? Can you call him a teen bat?
Teen bat, man. Teen bat.
Not quite a boy bat, not yet a man bat.
No, he's teen bat.
Yes. So Kyle oversteps his bounds as a prefect, does some investigating, finds out that Tristan is a man bat, teams up with Maps, and she shows him the hidden passageways around their campus, and they try to out him as a man bat, but Tristan flies away and then gets attacked by some unknown assailant. It's like a wild animal. Yeah, so they take him back.
Was it a teen wolf?
Oh man, if only.
Because we could have a whole different turn in this book if we have a teen bat and a teen wolf. And then all of a sudden,
can we get Jared as the Rotzi guy?
Yes.
So they take him back to Professor Langstrom. Kyle Kyle tries to hook up with Olive again. She pushes him away, then gets a letter from her dead mom that was just floating in a lake.
I would believe Killer Croc delivered that.
Ah, okay.
That would
make
assume.
sense. Yeah. Yeah, so she reads it. There's like a ghost-looking thing behind her. So who knows if it's an actual ghost or that's her mom or it's just artistic license. But how'd the letter get there? I don't know. Probably maybe Killer Croc. I could see that.
Yes. Yeah, well, I mean, the whole thing was that he was working with her mom, and her mom sent him to watch over her, and then he left. And I would assume he's still in contact with her, or was able to at least get back and say, "Hey, I checked up on her. She's okay.
Yeah,
you're good on that front." And she said, "Well, here, give her this letter." And because it was in the middle of a swamp, and that's kind of his environment,
his
really.
MO, yeah.
Again, cutesy,
fun.
but telling a story.
Yeah, a little bit lighter than past issues.
You know what? It doesn't matter because these characters have really grown on me.
Yeah.
And that's all this book is a character story.
I just need maps like balling up her fists in front of her face and hopping around in the background, and I'm happy.
just a ball of energy moving about as a blur in the background all the time.
Yeah.
Maybe she'll turn into a Kid Flash.
Maybe.
She's got enough energy for it. She's got enough energy. Just give her a Red Bull and she's got superpowers. Just
take that, bar tour.
Yeah. Next up, JLA, Justice League of America. This screen cannot hold this book.
It's not wide enough.
No, I have an ultra wide monitor and it is not wide enough because we are dealing with gods. Well, a god. Rao of Krypton has shown up on Earth. Rao has shown up, and Superman is all about this dude. He's like, "It's Rao, guys. You don't understand. It's Rao. We're gonna have the chicken in every pot. Everyone's gonna have a job. It's gonna be great. You guys are gonna love it." And not everyone's quite as welcoming to another giant being claiming itself to be a deity hovering over the planet Earth, and they're like,
this doesn't go well.
No, every time this has happened in the past, nothing good has occurred. So he calls everyone together. He goes, look, this is how awesome I am. I've sent a bunch of my envoys down to your little planet, and they are curing cancer, literally. They're walking from hospital to hospital and curing every person in your hospitals. And everyone's like, "Oh my God, this Rao guy is super cool. What a great guy." Everyone except one person. And that one person is Batman. Because even as...
This completely throws off my character motifs. I should not be dealing with this stuff.
It's coming across on the news, and Alfred's like, "This is a great thing, isn't it?" And Batman's just standing there going, "They're curing rapists and murderers. This Rao guy's not a good guy at all." And it's like, dude, simmer, they're curing everyone. He's not going to weed through and be like, "Well, that guy was kind of..."
I sat through that interminable American version of Torchwood. I know this is not good.
So he's still working with Cyborg to try to figure out who this Rao guy is and track down that Infinity Corporation, of which, of course, there is no sign of them whatsoever. If only there was some way to track down like an Infinity Incorporated, like an Infinity Inc. I don't know where they would be, but surely they're somewhere out there. I'm assuming that's the direction we're going with this because they were quasi-heroes. They were at least trying to tell him, "Look out, bad stuff's about to happen."
Yeah.
And you're not going to think it's bad stuff, but like maybe the approach of your god or something along those lines. Yeah. And then the next day he's like, "Hey, my god's here. I'm going to ignore that warning with the pile of dead me's that was there." But not everyone is having a super good time because apparently even space gods are as petty as Earth gods, who are as petty as the people that worship them. Because Wonder Woman returns home to Olympus to find it destroyed, utterly decimated, just rubble everywhere. And apparently there's only room for one pantheon on this planet, and that is Rao.
Guys at House to Astonish will be very pleased to know that there's more rubble in a Brian Hitch comic.
A lot of floaty bits. It's in like space, so
it's a more different kind of rubble.
Yes, it's space rubble in this case. It's good. It's actually good. I know we joke around about being widescreen, but it is actually telling character stuff. There's a great scene where Superman's talking to Rao and he's like, "Why do I even know who you are? I was shot off as an infant." And he's like, "Oh, because, as a deity, I'm part of what created your race and everything, and I always watched out for you guys, but there's one thing I need to tell you. And he's like, oh yeah, what's that? I need to ask for your forgiveness. I was off like preaching being awesome space god guy elsewhere when the sun blew up. As a matter of fact, there's even a envoy of Rao down in Atlantis that's like, hello Aquaman, will you allow me to preach to your people? And he's like, who the hell are you? I'm an envoy of Rao. Oh, you mean the god of Krypton? And he's like, yes, I'm the great, awesome deity of Krypton. He's like, well, obviously he's not too great of a deity. What was that? Did you say something? No, didn't say anything.
They go worshiping just gonna go continue worshiping this fish whale walrus thing from Wonder Woman.
But even Rao is like asking for forgiveness to Superman for abandoning them, and it's Superman trying to come to the grips of, is it right for him to bring his planet stuff to Earth, or is it because he's more Earthling than Kryptonian at this point? Really, maybe not physically, but emotionally, and who he is as a person, and it's got some great moments in it as far as the direction they're going with the characters. So yes, we can laugh at widescreen, we can laugh at Rubble and stuff like that, but there actually is a slow burn story being told here as well that I think deserves at least a read. My opinion, at least. So,
yep.
Moving on.
Good for people to just jump in with without having to worry about any continuity stuff, too.
Yeah. You know what other book is good for that? JLU.
Is it?
Justice League
United, yeah.
Yes.
Just trying to segue me.
I was segueing for you. So.
Okay, gotcha.
Well, thanks for running with that too.
I'm not sure if that's I'm not sure if that's a true statement or not, but we'll continue on.
You don't think that's a true statement? It's a bunch of short stories.
I suppose you're right. Yeah, so Justice League United number 11, Tony Harris cover, creator of Starman. He's the only one that remembers put the arrow on the star rod. That made me so happy. Probably because he invented it, you know.
Well, it helps. It does help to remember those.
Yes. But Jeff Parker and Travel Foreman taken over on Justice League United. Super, super happy about it. So something has happened that has merged Adam Strange with the Zeta Beam. So now he's this bodiless entity that can determine what the ideal team is for any situation against the Breakers.
Yeah.
Not Coach's National League football team from that horrible last season of Coach.
Oh,
there are these other dimensional threats attacking our world
and meat threats. Looks like just a lot of meat.
We'll get there. So this month it's Equinox heading up a team of Mara, Poison Ivy, the Demon, and Swamp Thing. Gee, Brian, would you like to enjoy this book? So. We get the basic setup and premise, the mobile armored strike command style recruiting sequence.
Mass Crusaders
fighting blue lasers. Complete with a Batgirl of Burnside cameo because Poison Ivy's trying to sell her new psychotropic plants in Burnside because this is where it's gonna. This is where I'm gonna make the most money. Come on.
I do love the fact that the poor guy in the club takes it. He's just tripping balls. Yeah. She's like, ooh, dosage maybe a little off on that one.
Hey, Travel Foreman, you want to drive some guy tripping out of his mind? Yes, I would.
Yeah, well, that's actually my forte. Let me.
He's like Xander Tar, like tripping over things to get back to his artboard.
6 died as Travel Foreman ran to his artboard to draw a guy tripping balls at a nightclub.
Yep. So they go off and so the whole like team for this mission, they go off into the ocean to fight this gigantic pyramid of viscera.
Meat. This is a meat pyramid.
Yeah, so
in the middle of Lake Erie. Not too surprising.
Honestly. Yeah, so it's a breaker. It cuts Swamp Thing off from the green, eats him before he's able to jump into a part of him that Demon ripped off. And the world may be doomed because this breaker thing is going to go off onto land now and eat everything now that they've eaten a god. And meanwhile, the spectral version of Adam Strange just goes, whoops.
My bad.
My bad, guys.
I do love the fact that Cleveland has shown up exactly twice since the New 52, and the first time was Forever Evil, where the villains took over, and it looked the exact same as it does now.
Yes.
And then the second time is, oh, by the way, Lake Erie's full of a giant meat pyramid.
Yep.
And, not too surprised.
No, not that surprised. Yep. We've got
could have had Etrigan at Cedar Point, though.
We could have. We've got our Rock and Roll Hall of Fame pyramid. We got our meat pyramid in the lake. That's what we got.
Hey, it's the much less famous Rock and Roll of Meat Hall of Fame.
Demon can't be at Cedar Point anymore. They took down the Demon Drop because it was the most unsafe ride known to mankind.
Well, because you would get tetanus getting into it, not like the actual
there was
ride
that,
itself.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm also very pleased. If we want to make another Cedar Point joke, I'm so happy that they have changed out the Mantis and it no longer has its castration ride vehicles anymore.
Any of those stand-up roller coasters that have the pneumatics on them that lock, don't do the little jumpy thing right before it leaves, because it will lock higher than it needs to be, and then all those G-forces go straight to your groin, and you do not enjoy it whatsoever.
They tell you not to, but you got to bend the knees when you're doing it. All right.
So I got new Aside Squad.
And Travel Foreman's facial expressions have like leveled up or something.
Yes.
Just so many great faces, especially on Poison Ivy. She was my favorite in this issue.
She ran away with this one as far as because she's like, you brought the god of plants kind of outgunned here, so I'll just kind of follow him around, I guess. Not very good at putting together a team there, are you there?
Now she's got to pick up the slack. It all makes sense.
Yep, exactly. Next up is new Suicide Squad, who have joined the fake ISIS of the Middle East, a bunch of League of Assassins members who have broken off that call themselves the
Black
League.
Adam's wife is never going to be able to come back, is she?
Nope. She's probably gone for good. But they have joined up with this group because they have been sent in to infiltrate it, because they have been buying all of the cast-off villain weaponry and devices, and they are tasked of finding it and finding out exactly what they have access to. And so it's Black Manta, Captain Boomerang, and Deadshot who have been sent on the inside, and they're kind of doing the whole, yes, the mission is all that's important. Yes, we are completely brainwashed like you want us to be, blah, blah, blah. And they're showing how they're even brainwashing all the kids of the territory that they're conquering. No time for play. It's always work. It's always study. They must know what they need to do to take over this world and control it from our base of power. And Captain Boomerang's just kind of like, well, why don't you let him play? Come on, guys. Let's relax a little bit. I'm Captain Boomerang. I'm gonna be jokey. Yeah, look at me. And Black Manta
Didgeridoo, Wallaby.
Yeah, and Black Manta's having nothing to do with it.
Vegemite sandwich.
He is 100% on board with this because it's order. It's actual, like, a goal-oriented thing. I have been with these crap heads for so long now of just chaos running all over. As a matter of fact, they have a camera cut scene over to the backup squad, which is like Harley Quinn and Parasite and Reverse Flash. And it's just Harley Quinn shooting rocket launchers at Parasite so he can have an afternoon snack. And Reverse Flash is like, you're gonna give away our position. He's hungry. I just gotta give him a sandwich. So yeah, Black Man is disturbingly into this, and it shows even later when Captain Boomerang breaks out of their dorm room and releases the kids and gives them a soccer ball and teaches them how to play soccer. And Black Manta shows up with the rest of the league and says, "No, we got to kill him now. He has broken the rules and sullied these children." So, yay, happy fun! Yay. Captain Boomerang's still kind of the runaway guy in this one. He's the fun one at least, and everyone else is kind of dour and meh. But how do I phrase this politely? It's better than it was, art and writing wise. I know I've enjoyed it for what it is because it's just been a little action romp book for me. But those first couple issues, they had issues. Pun not intended. It had some problems, and I can completely understand the criticisms that were being levied against it. I think in the last two, they've found at least a groove that they can run with and start to build off of that, and that's what they're doing now. So maybe give it a second shot, at least another glance. Eventually Will Smith will pop up and say, "What are we, some kind of Suicide Squad?" And everything will be fine. And the crowd will go, "Yay, you dropped the name of the movie in the book." So yeah, I think I got one more here. Red Hood and Arsenal. Where do I start with you guys? If you recall, they have been working with the CIA, or at least they decided they were going to, after they stole the $1 million from that deal that went south, and then Arsenal spent it all on weapon parts so that he can make awesome weapons, i.e., and let me tell you this invention of his, a water-activated flame-retardant material. I'm going to say it again so you can understand. A water-activated flame-retardant material. So it will block fire as long as you get it wet. Thanks, Arsenal. $1 million well spent.
Yeah.
So they end up going to work with the CIA, and this entire issue is a video game issue because they say, hey man, this mission where we're supposed to go get this guy so that we can get his MacGuffin, and that's what they keep calling it, the MacGuffin, sounds way much like a video game plot, and then the next 2 pages are them like, dude, level up, oh, super power move, KO, and just skipping across Paris doing all of these things. And eventually they actually get the items they want. They go out to dinner before they leave, and it happens to be across the street from a rogue shade scientist who is there with his girlfriend. And Jason Todd, of course, planned all of this because he wants to take him down. And unfortunately, this rogue shade scientist has a group of killer ninja mimes called the Mime Swarm, and I'm talking full French berets and striped shirts that are running around that he controls via nanobots because, of course, Shade has a mime swarm that runs around.
Sure.
And they end up having another video game scene of them running around the Eiffel Tower, beating up mimes. And eventually they take down the guy that's controlling them. And as we see several yards away, in the shadows, where no one can see them, sort of off panel. This is the actual description for the panel. And then there's like a little box that says, they get it at the someone else is actually taking control of the mime squad after they drop the guy. And they return back to the CIA to return the little MacGuffin thumb drive that they got. And it turns out to be full of nothing but Pepe Le Pew cartoons. And they're like, well, that was a weird thing to send us after. But it turns out Arsenal actually swapped it before they grabbed it. And they go off to meet some guy for another mission 2 days later who answers the door and says, oh yes, Mr. Red, Mr. Arse. And he's like, it's all one word, Arsenal. It's not Mr. Arse. Don't ever call me that again, please. And they're about to go off on their next job in the dilapidated slums of Detroit, Michigan. So, you fight mimes in Paris, you come back to Detroit, what are you going to fight there? I'm assuming Autobots. I would assume Autobots in this case, but I don't know. That's where they leave off, as them kind of like, next mission, we're the best. Again, it's the stupid guys. It's the stupid 20-year-olds. It's the people doing stupid things because they don't have anything to lose, and I completely respect that, and I believe everyone in that age bracket should do it while you have nothing to lose, because eventually you don't. I'm envious. I can't do it anymore because I have things and I will lose them, and it's bad for me to do so I cannot be stupid. And I have a good 5-6 years of stupid adventures under my belt, so I'm content with it, and I just hope other people do it as well. And this book kind of captures that feeling of those years where you're just like, this is a horrible idea, but I don't know for sure that it's going to end badly, so I'm going to try.
As someone who never had those stupid adventures, I may as well live vicariously through them, I suppose.
Exactly. So for me, it's a good time. It's a good time.
All right, closing out with Starfire.
You know it.
All right, Amanda Connor's cover is great.
What was her cover for this one?
It's the featherless Birdie the parrot.
Oh, yes.
Amanda Connor was born to draw angry featherless parrots, apparently. So a hurricane blasts through Key West. Starfire saves her friends from the trailer park, their parrot, and eventually her pal, Sheriff Stella Gomez's brother, who, if we are going by Stella, his name is apparently Idiot. Apparently his name is Idiot Brother.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's an odd name.
Yeah.
Must be Puerto Rican, I believe.
Sure. Who works in the Coast Guard and foolishly went off to save some people who were on a tiny
Love
boat.
You, Puerto Rico.
Yep. She saves his life, gives him mouth to mouth, gets confused, and is adorable. Hey, hooray, Starfire! Also, your trailer is gone now, so you're going to have to live in my house with me and my idiot brother. I still don't.
Aptly named Idiot Brother.
I still don't think I have a name for him. Let's see. Sorry, my thing just flaked out on me. Meanwhile, a giant lava demon thing burst out of the ground in all of the hubbub and is looking for Starfire. It'll probably show up on the day before she accidentally has dates scheduled with both the idiot brother and the trailer park male model at the same time.
But who will she choose?
I don't know.
I know it's the same peoples. Well, at least connected to the same peoples as far as Jimmy Palmiotti, Amanda Connor, Justin Gray. all those guys are very close with one another. But this one has the All-Star Western subtitle sections for the different chapters, where you get, like All-Star Western would have just a little one-line sentence thing to like summarize, like
Frasier style.
Yeah, and this one's doing it as well, and I really liked that because it was something I liked from All-Star Western, and I'm like, hey, it lives again. Cool. I'm happy to see that, especially in a cutesy little book like this, and I don't know. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Me personally, at least. But what do I know? What do I know? I'll tell you what I know. It's the end of the show.
Yeah, it is.
We made it through 2 weeks in an hour.
Yeah.
That's longer than I intended to go.
Yeah.
I actually told Brian I have a half hour because now it's almost midnight and I'm going to have to work. So, yay.
Oops.
Yay. Thanks, Brian.
Yeah,
Thanks, Brian.
Just doing my job.
Yep. So, as I said,
You
we're
don't
going
have to edit any of this. Come on.
I'm not. I can't. I don't have time to edit it. That's the problem. Again, so many apologies. I just don't have time for anything right now, and I'm struggling so hard to get anything done, let alone the show. I know this was not up to normal standards. Not that our standards are
standards aren't that high, dude. Don't start puffing your chest out yet, man.
I'm not puffing it out. I'm just saying, even that low bar, I don't think we hit.
Okay.
So let me specify. I'm not raising the bar and saying we didn't hit it. No, the bar was still low. We just didn't get there, I don't think. So my apologies
tripped over
for
it.
that. Yeah, more or less. Not good at the limbo.
No.
So we're gonna try to get another one out for the back half of this month here, sometime in the near future. I don't have an exact date. I would hope next week, but we'll have to see how the week at work for myself plays out and if I'm actually in state again. So, yay! And go from there. After that, as I said, we will be doing a monthly kind of a high-level type thing, and we'll kind of figure it out from there. But reminder to you guys, you don't need us to tell you what happened in these books because you have an option available to you. You can go buy them.
Yeah.
You can go buy them and read them whenever you want. Well, after they're released, at the very least. But after that, you can buy them whenever you want.
Yeah.
And if anything out of this DCU, there is something out there for you. I assure you, there is at least one of these books that is right up your alley, aimed right at your tone, your style, what you're looking for. May not be all of them, likely will not be all of them, because of the wide array of styles and tones that they're doing. Some of this stuff is not going to hit with you whatsoever, and that is perfectly okay. Don't feel like it's a travesty because character X isn't hitting with you whatsoever, and a bunch of people are speaking super highly about it because it's so aimed at them, and it may not be your cup of tea. So just take it for what it's worth, what anyone says about any books, and just skim. Just do a quick scan of some of these books in your LCS or wherever, and see what's aimed at you, and support it. Because if you don't buy it, they won't make it, and it will go away, and your tone, your style, your thing that you absolutely love will disappear. Poof! Like a ghost. But then Constantine will screw it over and it will get killed. So,
yeah.
Even your ghost of the book that you loved will end up dead due to John Constantine.
Yep.
What a jerk! What a jerk. He's a gob. That's what he is. So next episode, we have
weeks 7 and 8.
Week 7 and 8.
Maybe 9 for the fifth week.
Probably
right?
9 for the fifth week. We'll fit that one in. Black Canary, Dr. Fate, Doomed, Green Lantern, Lost Army, Harley Quinn, Justice League, which apparently some big stuff's going on there. I haven't gotten to it yet. Martian Manhunter, Robin, Son of Batman, Secret Six, Superman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Cyborg with his number 1. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking forward to getting my hands on that. My mitts. I got my mitts ready to pick it up. It's going to be great.
Robot mitts.
Deathstroke! Yay! Gotham by Midnight, Grayson, Harley Quinn, and Power Girl, Justice League 3001, Prez?
Yeah.
Prez.
So good.
Sinestro.
Get in on that before it sells out at your shop.
Teen Titans, Flash, We Are Robin, and last but not least, Wonder Woman. So it'll be another marathon run real quick there, but make sure you give it a shot for us. I'll try to keep it updated as to when we're going to try to get it out. If you do want to contact us, you can do so on the interwebs or DCR podcast everywhere. Oh, by the way, the website is probably going to go down for maintenance for a while. I'm going to let the hosting expire while I move it elsewhere. The show will still be pushed out. It's always hosted via Libsyn anyway, so you can just go off to that page instead and it'll have all the regular stuff and I'll get everything worked out as far as the back end hosting from there. Don't feel like if you go there one day and it's just saying under maintenance or whatever, I didn't just turn it off and sell it or anything.
Just pay attention
like that.
to the Facebook. That's where all the main stuff's going on right now anyway.
Yep. So, but you can find us anywhere or email us at feedback@dcrpodcast.com. You think they got that?
I think so.
Okay. I was going to do like a soccer goal thing. I think they got it now.
Okay. Everyone's got to wait through that to find out that I liked Ant-Man.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah. Haven't seen it yet.
Yep.
I have no time.
Here's my impression of you after seeing Ant-Man. It was pretty formulaic like all Marvel movies, Brian. I'm like, Sean, oh, you don't like fun, do you? Wah, wah.
I have never said those things. I have said that maybe you're starting to see the chinks in the armor as far as some of the things that are starting to line up across all their movies. That's as critical as I've gotten with these movies. And you're also like, you just hate fun and Marvel and everything. And I'm like, no, I've still said I enjoyed the movies. I'm just saying I'm starting to see some of their bullet points that they like to hit. And they're not bad things. They're tropey for a reason because that's what works. It's shorthand mostly. So whatever. Piss off.
First time Evangeline Lilly hasn't made me dislike something.
Evangeline Lilly. Isn't she from Lost?
Kate from Lost.
Okay, gotcha. She's
Kate,
in this?
she was fine. The character of Kate was the worst by the end of it.
I never made it to the last season.
She's not missing anything.
When they started going back to the 70s, that was when I was just like, nope, done.
Didn't miss anything. Didn't miss anything.
So yeah, that's it for this episode, whatever you want to call a I guess we're gonna take a shot at doing this again.
Maybe.
Patience. We will let you know if there's any changes in plan. I'll start telling Brian what to type on places because I don't have the time to do it. I'm a horrible
give me the Twitter password and I'll see if I don't break it.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know how this works. I punched 170 characters in it. It just broke. So until then, everyone enjoy your books, enjoy your week, enjoy your lives, and we will talk to you sometime in the near future-ish thing.
Maybe.